Hello, hello, hello. And we want to welcome you right now. Thank you for tuning in to Be Well, an online series brought to you by Eat Well, Live Well, Be Well, where you can detox your mind of the rhetoric of food, fat diets, and conventional health care. Join the journey with us and take your life back. You can visit our website at elbwell.com. You can also follow us on all social media platforms at ELBWell on Facebook, YouTube. You can search for ELBWell. That's Eat, Live, Be Well. On Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter, it's at ELBWell Mindset. Or you can email us at info@elbwell.com or call us toll free at 833, you guessed it, ELBWell. That's 833-352-9355. Well, we have a great segment lined up for you today. Today's discussion will be about all things ELB Well. So right now, without further ado, I want to introduce you to your host for today's segment, and that is Brenda Jackson. Everybody just give Brenda a round of applause. Hello, Brenda.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. I am so excited about doing this. I get to interview a dear friend of mine that I've known 30 plus years, but we're going to dig deep because all things ELB Well is Miss ELB Well this day. So right now, let's just get into it and start our little interview, our deep dig in of Miss Anita Faye Wilson.
I'm back.
Thank you. It is so nice to have you on the show.
Yes.
But one of the things, I've seen the website, elbwell.com.
Yeah.
I've read the blogs and the things that are on there. I've seen faces and testimonials and whatever. My question is, how did ELB Well become ELB Well?
Well, that's an interesting question because I actually went on a journey, and my journey was to discover what was actually going on with my body. I spent a number of years being morbidly obese, and for a long time, I just figured I didn't really realize what I weighed. And during a very stressful time in my life, I went through a process where I just kind of ignored the mirror. I ignored scale. I ignored food. I ignored anything. I ignored anything and all things that as it pertained to diet and healthcare. And I just ate what I wanted to eat, ate what I wanted to eat, did what I wanted to do. And I looked up one day and realized that there were some things that were more difficult for me, that I was different.
Well, Anita, let me ask this question. How did you go from ignoring to realization? What was the connect?
I went to the doctor. And when I went to the doctor, I learned that I was pre-diabetic. I had already been diagnosed with high blood pressure. But when I was hit with a pre-diabetic diagnosis from the doctor, and actually I was in the hospital and the nurse came in to administer insulin.
Okay.
And I said, I'm not diabetic. Why are you giving me insulin? And I'm like, I'm not taking it. And so the nurse, of course, they don't argue with you. So they went to get a doctor, they went to get a specialist, and the specialist came in and had a conversation with me that my A1C level was 6.5. And that my sugar level in my blood at that time was too high for the morning. It was in the hundreds. It was like 150, I believe it was. And that was resting, which means that my sugar content in my blood was very, very high. So they had to give me insulin. And then they gave me a prescription for metformin. And at that point, I was like, okay, that's it. I refuse. This I'm not doing.
That was your aha.
That was my aha.
Okay. So you made the decision and then you started to do what? What did you apply based on this decision?
Well, when I went to that place that made me want to decide, I knew from early on, when I was younger, I could lose weight very easily. It wasn't a problem.
Okay.
When I started to try the process after coming into the knowledge of being pre-diabetic, and going through the motions. And actually I woke up at that point and realized what I weighed. I actually weighed myself for the first time in probably, I think at that point, maybe 3 years. And in the hospital, it's easy to ignore because it's in kilograms. I don't want to
Yes.
play that. I don't care.
Yes.
As long as I don't see
I
the number.
understand. Yes.
So in kilograms, I didn't really care. But it wasn't until I actually bought one scale, I stepped on the scale and the scale said error. Then I bought another scale that went up to about 3, because the average scale goes up to 360, I think it is.
Right.
So I bought another scale that went up to 400 and it said error. So I bought a third scale that went to 450 and it said 417.
I applaud you for continuing to buy scales, but go ahead.
So when I stepped on the scale at 417, I sat down, I had a good cry because I did not realize, I had never even imagined myself, at the time I knew I was over 300, but I'd never imagined myself being over 400. And I was like, I got to do something. So I started what I knew to do and nothing was happening. I would lose 50 pounds, 30 pounds, and then gain it back and then some. And then I would lose another 30 or 40 pounds and then I would gain it back and then some.
So you were playing the yo-yo.
Yes, I was playing the yo-yo and breaking chairs and beds and everything else in the process. It's a real story. It's a real story.
All right, so keep telling us. I'm sure people want to know. So what happened then?
Then I actually found a few things. There were a few things I knew. I knew about detoxing because you and I had done a detox years prior, remember?
Yes.
And it was because I felt sick. It had nothing to do with weight. At the time, I felt sick. There was something I felt that was foreign in my body, and I knew that if I didn't get it out, I was going to die. That's basically how I felt. Okay. So after going on that detox, I figured, I can just go on a detox, and now that'll do it. I'll just do a detox, do the same detox over and over. And then, but when I started researching, because then the only thing that put me in that mode, Brenda, was because the book that we had done the detox was old. So I knew that. I said, well, I'm sure that there's so much more information out there now. So I'm going to go and find some more information for detox. And that's what I did. I went out on a research for more information regarding detoxes. And when I started researching detox from, like 10 years after the fact, it was an enlightenment. And I was like, oh my God. I learned about gut health, and I just kept learning and kept learning and kept learning. As a result, I decided to just do some more exploration and find out about my own body and how my body responded to food.
But Anita, right here, I find it really interesting that instead of jumping from, say, your Jenny Craig and your Weight Watchers and whatever, you went back to something you did before, which involved detoxing. And you and I both know detoxing, yes, there is a byproduct of weight loss, but you went to that knowing you wanted to lose weight. Why?
Well, the thing is, I knew that I could lose weight by detoxing because I had done it before. Right. And every time that I would do a detox, which I just did detoxes periodically, I would lose weight. So I figured I'll just keep doing detoxes and I'll lose weight. And I'm like, what's going to happen when my body is clean? So that's what made me go.
I understand.
Research these things before I just get into detoxing over and over and over again, because surely I'm going to plateau at some point and it's not going to work. So, but I had already done all of the Jenny Craig's and the LA Weight Loss, Quick Weight Loss, Weight Watchers. I had done all of those and exhausted South Beach diet and all of the keto stuff. Everything that was out, I had done.
But what about surgery, Anita?
It wasn't an option for me.
Okay.
It wasn't an option for me. I decided that I was not going to allow myself to go down that mode because there were so many people I knew who had perished and so many people I knew who gained their weight back and they didn't look healthy. And I didn't want to have an unnecessary surgery for something that I knew I could do myself.
Okay.
I didn't feel like I was at the point. There's some people who may be at the point of no return. When I watch My 600-Pound Life, I see people who have chronic health issues that if they don't do something quick, there is no option for saving their life. but I was healthy virtually. I was pre-diabetic. I had high blood pressure, but I was
Mhm.
moving around. I was flying all over the place. And I think back now, like I could have had a blood clot. There were so many things that could have happened to me.
Yes, yes.
But, God spared my life, but I was so uneducated. And in the process of searching for an answer, I learned and I ran across that wonderful detox pyramid idea and brought it to four friends. And only one decided to take the plunge with me to try it. And then we pulled on another person and she tried
Yes,
this.
exactly. It was like a domino effect and it worked out really, really well. All right. So, but now we are at a place where there is an actual company,
Right.
and the name of it is, Miss Wilson.
The company is Eat Well, Live Well, Be Well.
Okay. So now I asked you your why. I
Mhm.
want to know the why of eat well, live well, be well.
Well, when I started posting, well, actually, I didn't post. I haven't posted a lot of pictures, but I posted one before and after picture, and it generated a conversation.
Okay.
And from me, you, and the other two coaches with Eat Well, Live Well, Be Well, from us doing it for ourselves, our friends and our circles started
Right.
inquiring.
Yes. Okay.
So after the inquiries, I felt like, you know what? Why not share this with masses? Because there are so many people who not only, it's not even about weight loss, but it's about health.
Exactly.
So many of us have spent 20, 30, 40 years or more neglecting the temple, neglecting our health. So I figured let's change that. Let's share it.
I totally, totally agree with you. So you started to share it. People started to try it. What was the general consensus when with people creating roadblocks, which we know that happens?
Well, the thing about people is that listen. They'll tell you all the lies. Oh, you look good. You need to lose some more weight, girl. You're fine, or you're gonna die. Your body needs protein, girl. You fasting that many days, girl? That's not the way. That's unhealthy. How do you know? How do
Thank
you know that?
you.
I researched. I spent a year watching Chris James and a healthy alternative before I ever ventured into prolonged fasting. So,
And
like I've done, the thing of it is, the one thing I love about our company is that we're not just giving you something that we've heard somewhere or seen somewhere. We're giving you things that we've tried. And because
exactly.
I'm coming down from 417 pounds and still on my journey, all in the middle of my journey, as a matter of fact, because I am at that point, I am like, wow, I still have so far to go, but I've come from so far, so I can relate to every problem that you might have.
Okay, so now this is not just about physicality, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay, what other components, aspects of us holistically is ELB well about?
Well, the thing is, it helps. Like, there are some people who understand and know that meat, there are certain things, dairy, there's certain things in their diet that just, it doesn't complement.
Right.
So as a result, you need to make the changes. And when you make the changes, the necessary changes to your diet, then you're able to, function better. So we have people who are diabetic, who have an A1C
Yes.
level of 8, 9, 12,
Yes,
14.
exactly.
And then within about a month or two, they're coming back with testimonies and coming back with blood work. Like, we had one the other day who said her blood work was that of a young person. And when you're in your 50s and your doctor tells you your blood work is showing that you're in your 20s, that's a sign that you've added years onto your life. So it's not just about that. It's about getting rid of the myths and the fads. The myths and the fads about diet, about conventional health care, about healing your body. The body heals itself. When you have good gut health, then it makes everything else in the body function properly. When your lymphatic system is draining, then your body's functioning well. When your liver and gallbladder is clean. But you have to start
Right.
with good health. So when we start with gut health, cleansing the gut and the kidneys, then everything else in the body can function well.
So now from that point, how does eat well, live well, be well start? I mean, what is that first jump, that first challenge, that first track?
Well, the first thing that we do is we start with detoxing. We start with our 16-day vegan detox. 16 days of going up a pyramid, cutting out stuff one at a time. Your body is being prepared each level you go up. And by the time you get to the end, which ends with fasting, you are going to go through a small period of fasting on the 16-day. When you finish that fasting period and you actually look at your body, you feel different, you think different, you want to eat different, you want to keep feeling the way you feel. And especially when you step on the scale, you're like, what? So that's actually what happens. And then when you can get to the point, Brenda, when I tell you, and I'm going to show a picture, when I tell you I had what I called 3 necks. And I asked my friend, why didn't you tell me I had 3 necks? She was like, I had 3 necks. So when I see this photo,
Yes.
side by side, I'm like, wow. And this is the kind of stuff that I started seeing after going through the process of 16 days. And when I was able to see not only my face, but my body transform, I was like, wow, now we're on to something.
And now for our viewers, I want you to understand those photos that you just saw. There was no photoshopping or anything done. Those are real before and after shots. And here's a nice gallery of that very thing. And if you look at the bottom picture all the way to the right, the last photo, Anita doesn't even look like that now. She's transformed even from that place. So that is absolutely wonderful. But now let me ask you something on this, because you mentioned about the 16-day vegan detox. Is your company one to convert people to veganism?
No, but it can if you want to. It's up to you. I'm not vegan. I call myself a chegan, which is I'm a vegan most of the time, and I cheat with chicken and fish and shrimp and crabs and stuff when I want to. But it's not about being vegan, but our program can help you transform, because we do have a few clients that were vegan and they had, lost their veganism, and they decided, wow, I want to go back to that.
Right. And so that 16-day begins to be a real help to that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But now, with all of this and the 16-day and other people trying it, with anything that you started in life, there are habits. And we all know that it takes about 21 days to develop a habit. Can you tell our listening audience, our viewers, what is one of the residual effects that has made a great impact on you from this?
Well, I thought the one thing that I was going to have the hardest time letting go of was dairy.
Okay.
Because I loved cheese. I didn't drink milk, but I loved cheese, and I wanted ice cream when I wanted it. So I figured, wow, if I give up dairy, that's yogurt, that's cream cheese, that's cheese. So I was like, I'm just going to be vegetarian. I'm not going to give up dairy. But when I got into the 16-day and did it for the first, I think, 2 times that we did it, split it up. We did a few months later, we did it again just to see if we were going to get more results, and we did. And I started learning by doing this. It transformed my cooking habits. It transformed everything, because I started learning how to prepare more meals. I got creative. And then I started just exploring things and realizing that the substitutes for things and even making your own was not a bad thing.
Okay, give us an example of one of the substitutes and then making your own.
So, for instance, I've become the connoisseur of macaroni and cheese from a vegan perspective. Now, I used to be
a testament to that. Go ahead.
I used to be the connoisseur on the regular mac and cheese. I was always the one to make it in my family, and everybody wanted mine. It was so creamy, it's so cheesy. So I was a connoisseur, but I wanted to perfect it. So I got into it and started learning how to make it like really good and really like it, like regular mac and cheese that you can't really tell. And
Right.
so as a result, I figured it out and I made it and it was delicious. So that's what helped me transform myself from cheese. I mean, I don't have to buy it. I don't really have to buy cheese. I don't have to buy dairy yogurt. I don't have to buy dairy ice cream. When I
Right.
want some so delicious or some Ben and Jerry's non-dairy or some, there are many different options, or freeze some bananas, pull out some vanilla flavoring and make your own.
Exactly. So basically, when it comes to foods in this realm, this healthy lifestyle, the sky's the limit.
Yes, it is.
And even with, like you said, we repeated that 16-day a few months after,
Mm-hmm.
but although the instruction may be the same, what we consumed was different because there's so many options when you start to understand about food and what it can do and where it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now I know there's other residuals that have come into play and have manifested themselves in your life. Tell our audience a little bit more about that.
Well, I am gardening. I have started gardening. Now, my mom had a green thumb, but I was never the one. And my sister would, attempt to grow things here and there. And trust me, we killed a lot of things. But what happened was I grew an interest in trying to create some of my own food. I'm like, I want to grow some stuff. So I started, of course, everybody's going to try to grow some herbs. And so I had done that before. I did it with my mom, but I wanted to grow the food. I wanted to be able to grow something. I wanted to harvest it. I wanted to cook it. I wanted to eat it. And so I went on that journey in 2020, and I have been pretty much successful this year. And I can't wait for 2021 to be. I'm going ham. I just that's been one of my favorite things to do now is to put some stuff in the yard and garden. I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I'm grateful for that. But you know what? One of the things I did learn though in the process of my gardening,
Uh-huh.
when I actually started getting to the point that okay, so of course, I started out, like I said, I started out with um, just a few little things, just some little herbs here and
Right.
there. And then I said, well, let me try and make this, a more lucrative garden.
Okay.
I do a lot of juicing. And of course, juicing can be tedious, but
Yeah.
I started juicing and I started having an interest in growing things that I had no idea how to grow. Everybody can take a seed or a seedling, like a tomato plant, because you can
Right.
get seedlings from Whole Foods or from Home Depot, from different places like that. I mean, it's Whole Foods, but Home Depot, Lowe's, you can buy seedlings, and there are some companies that sell the seedlings.
Correct.
It's mostly like tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, herbs, things like that. But when it came to other things, there are no seedlings really for that stuff. So I started just researching like seedlings and seeds for things like ginger and turmeric and things like that. And then I learned that it was not as easy because I still am trying to wrap my mind around growing my own mushrooms. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to get into I'm going to get my seedlings together. I'm going to get my mushrooms. I'm going to get my garlic. That's another one. So when I started researching, I went on and I looked at a few videos. I did some research and I was like, okay, so I think I can pretty much get my turmeric and ginger by just doing, just some regular seeds. So I went that route. I'm going to get some turmeric seeds.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't successful. I mean, I went when I tell you I've been through all of the processes,
Right.
wasn't successful. I went down, I think, a gazillion journeys before I realized there are some things that just grow well by just you growing them from your own stuff in your refrigerator, like lettuce,
Oh,
onions, and things
okay.
of that nature. So I got into really exploring ginger and turmeric because it's an anti-inflammatory. It is
Yeah.
good for the joints. There are many people who have they may have like rheumatoid arthritis or
Yes.
autoimmune diseases. Um,
Yes.
And then, of course, because I make ginger and turmeric shots, I'm good for going to Whole Foods or Sprouts, and I'll buy the fresh ginger, I'll buy the fresh turmeric, and I'll
Right.
get those two together and I'll juice them, add a little lemon, and mix it with some honey, sprinkle a little black pepper, and voila, I have my own ginger turmeric shots that are going to cost me about a third of the money that it would to buy those little shots that have been.
Yes. And
And
they are very expensive in the store. And let me tell you, our ELBWell audience, I've tasted her ginger turmeric shots with the black pepper. And she buys this Scion cinnamon that she puts in it as well. I must say, if you ever decide to want to try it, sit down when you drink it, okay? Because it will, but it's so wonderful. All right, so Anita, we mentioned the ginger and the turmeric, and basically, from what I'm understanding, since with all the seeding and the seeds didn't work, you just decided to take what you had in the refrigerator and have a little ceremony. And
I
okay,
took a small piece of ginger,
right.
a small piece of turmeric, and I planted it in dirt. And I'm going to show a video. It's about 2 minutes, so just watch this. You're going to see from the huge plant, it grows into a beautiful plant. I was shocked. I had no idea how it was going to grow, and I stared at it for months, wondering when I was supposed to harvest it. So I had to research that too, and I just did it the other day. So I'm going to show you guys.
Okay, let's see it. That was amazing. For those of you that had just tuned in, or those that have been with us from the beginning, if you never knew what fresh turmeric root looks like, that's exactly what it looks like. But I must tell you, what I've seen in the store, what Anita just pulled up, it's more beautiful. You can see the colors and the radiance of it. And that is what's in that ground turmeric that we pay for. And it is just absolutely amazing. So, Anita, no, I saw there was a little tug of war going on there. What was that about?
Well, what was happening was my when I started pulling and yanking on the turmeric, I noticed that it was tight. Again,
Yeah.
I was doing this, not knowing what I didn't know what I was doing. So I started off doing this, and I'm pulling on the turmeric. I'm pulling on the turmeric, and it was tight. It was because the root had spread all over the entire container.
Wow.
And I only
Um,
planted one little piece on one side because on the other side of that container, I tried ginger, but the ginger didn't take, but the turmeric took, and it was that one little piece, but the roots had spread all the way across. So
So now when you replant again, because I know you want to grow more, do you start with that top part that had the roots on it, or do you start with an actual?
you start with an actual piece of turmeric, and you
Amazing.
just sit it out and let it become room temperature. You don't let it dry out. Sit it out, let it become room temperature, and plant it in the soil. That is
Amazing.
really it. That is all I did. I
That
planted.
was absolutely amazing. Now, one of the things that I noticed, because as I mentioned with the color of the turmeric, and I know with ELB, well, even looking at the website, and even with the background that we're on with the show right now,
Mhm.
I see colors, I see rainbow colors, I see varied colors. But I also noticed that in your company's logo and the lotus that is there. Is that lotus significant to the company and the
Yes,
meaning behind it?
yes, it is. It is very significant because one of the things I want to say before I tell you what it means is that we believe in eating the rainbow. And even our existence as people, we're all made from different colors, different shapes, different sizes, and so everything is different. Everyone is, and everything is unique. And then when you look at that lotus flower, it has, it's calming in itself, but the meaning is purity, enlightenment, self regeneration, and rebirth.
Wow. I must admit, seeing that video prior to you giving the explanation just fortifies it and reinforces it because you grew something and you
Yeah.
grew it out of something that already existed. That's rebirth. So it regenerated itself
Right.
and this enlightenment and it was pure because that's organic. It's straight from the ground, no chemicals or anything like that.
Right.
This has just been enlightening. And I know there is just so much more about the company. There's so much more about you. But today we just wanted to have our first inaugural show of Be Well Live, just to give people a little taste of who we are. But let's kind of go back a little bit. We're going to bring on our other coach, Miss
Hi,
Marilyn.
Marilyn.
Hi, Marilyn. We're so glad to have you with us. So, for those that just tuned in, we're just going to do a quick little recap of what we've gone over the day, the why of ELB Well, which is about healthy eating, about eating the rainbow. And of course, we now see that our head of ELB Well, she's a gardener, she's a farmer. Now, one of the things I need you guys to know is one of the departments that we have in the company, research and development, Anita is the director of that because as she just gave information, she will go look and look and look. Think about it, people. She bought 5 scales before she was satisfied.
Right.
Anyway, but I didn't mean to leave Marilyn out, but let's just get back to just some of the information we went over, Nita, the things
Mm-hmm.
that you want to stress to people.
Wait a minute. I think we have her back.
Okay.
Marilyn, are you back? I think she's coming back.
It's buffering. Oh, no.
There she is.
So, Anita, just give us some of the things that you want to re-emphasize to the people.
Okay, well, mainly, I want you guys to make sure you go to our website. We have a website that is very uh I'm telling you, it's informative, and everything that you need to know about us is there, and it's user friendly, and it's our hub for everything. We have a blog, we have our registration information, and our price is very low. Let me tell you something. For what you get, you will pay so much more. When I compare what we do in our company versus some of the other companies that are out there, you're getting far more, and you're getting the support system. So we encourage you to go to our website at elbwell.com. That's where you can register. You can sign up to become a part of our tribe elite and be privy to webinars, information, seminars. We have a support hub. We talk every day. We show what we're eating. We show what we're drinking. Everybody's juicing, and the support system. It's extremely valuable.
Okay. Well, Marilyn, I'm sorry, we've had you quiet for a few seconds, but um, When it comes to ELB Well, what makes you glad to be a part of it?
Well, one of the good afternoon, everyone. One of the things is that pretty much some of the things that Anita spoke about earlier, just identifying who you are, what you've gone through with your health for so many years, and one of the things for me, it was pretty much just emotional eating a lot and not caring. And when I learned to love myself to make the change, I start beginning to see a difference in my health. So
Okay.
yeah,
All
it's
right, great.
you have an
So,
aha moment
yeah,
at
but
some point in time in your life.
yeah. Okay. Well, all right. To our ELB Well audience, this won't be the last time that we come to you. And these are, as you can see, time goes by really quickly. And that's why we say there's so much more information. But I want to say thank you for giving of your time today and just finding out a little bit more of who we are. And as we said, elbwell.com. You have a question, it is on that website. You need to contact us, it is on that website. You want to sign up, it is on that website. If you want to see what we look like, it is on that site.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, again, we will see you again next month. We come on every second Saturday for Be Well Live. But once you join and become part of the Tribe Elite, you then get to tap in all the other beautiful treasures that we bring. So, on this Saturday afternoon, thank you for meeting us. Thank you for joining us. It was my pleasure to be your host, and I hope to see you again.